All right, guys, we are on our last lesson, and this is going to show us one more way to use the properties of addition to help us add and subtract if we're adding. So we can use the commutative property or we could use the associative property. Jane and her family are driving to Big Lagoon State. On the first day, they travel 1/3 of the distance. On the second day, they travel 1/3 of the distance in the morning, and then 1/6 of the distance in the afternoon. How much of the total distance has Jane's family driven by the second day? So we could do you could add day twos together, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use my associative property because it's easier to add like denominators. So 1/3 plus 1/3 equals 2/3. Oops. Which equals 2/3. And I still have 1/6 to add, so I'm going to drop down my 1/6. Now I can just add 2/3 plus 1/6. And 6 is my common denominator because 3 can go into 6, so this stays the same. This I take times 2 to get to 6. Times 2, I get 4/6. I now have 5/6. So when I added those together, I got a total of 5/6. So how far did they go all together? 5/6. How much of the total distance have they driven? They've driven 5/6 of the way. So that just made it easier when we put our properties, our common denominators together. So let's look at another one here, and let's look what we can put together to make it a whole lot easier. If I look here, you could use the commutative property and the associative property. I'm looking here, and I'm looking at my common denominators. So I want to put those together. So I'm going to put 2 and 5/8 and 1 and 1/8 together. So then I have plus I'm going to add my 1 and 2/3. So I'm going to put so I use my commutative property to put my like denominators next to each other. So I did that. I switched those around. Now I'm going to, so when I switched them around, I've got 1 and 2/3 plus 2 and 5/8 plus 1 and 1/8. So when I look at this, I don't even have to write it down, guys. I can just look right here across, and it's 6/8. And 2 wholes plus 1 whole is, so I'm going to put 1 and 2/3 here. Now I'm going to add these together and put that there. And I got 6/8, which I can simplify, which I'm going to do. I have 3 and 6/8. I'm going to simplify that. I can divide them both by 2, and I get 3/4. So I'm going to put 3 and 3/4 here. Now, so what do I have to do? I have to add 2 and 2/3 plus 3 and 3/4. So I'm going to do that. And 2/3 plus 3/4 equals, well, my common denominator is 12 because I know they both can go into 12. 4 times 3 is 12, so 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 4 is 8. 8/9 is 8 plus 9 is 17/12. And let me add my whole numbers so I don't forget those. I have a 1 and a 3, so I have 4 and 17/12. What do I have here? I have an improper fraction, so what am I going to do? I'm going to make it a mixed number. And I ask myself, how many 12s can go into 17? 1, and that's 12 12s. And if I subtract that, I get 5 12s. So 1 and 5 12s plus 4. So I get a total of 5 and 5 12s. So I just think it makes it easier that when you know you're adding or subtracting, you can just switch things around and add or subtract, add or multiply, whatever works easiest for you. Right now we're just adding. So let's do these two. And right away, when I look at these, I'm probably going to switch it to this. And this is going to make it really easy because if I have 5 plus 1/4 plus 3/4 plus, if I do that first, plus 1 and 1/12, well, I can just look at this and I know 4/4 make a whole. So this is 6 plus 1 and 1/12, 7 and 1/12. See how much easier that was? Okay, so I would like you and your partner, look at this. How can you use the associative property or the commutative property? Let's go to this page and let's see. Let's do 2 and 3 together. Pick one from this row and one from that row, please. And we'll come back to that one later. Let's do the evens on this page. And 1 or 2 in all of the bottom. And if you have time, remember to always come back to that page. Get ready. You're going to do the review and the test, and you have rocked adding and subtracting fractions.